Hey, what is up, Fellowship? Hey, we're super excited that you guys have decided to take a next step of faith to lead a discipleship group here at Fellowship. Me and Katie both are really excited and passionate about discipleship, primarily because we've seen the fruit of it in our own lives. I came to know the Lord at the end of my freshman year of college, and I've really had two kind of distinct seasons of following the Lord since then. And the beginning of it was marked by not really having any men in my life to walk through following Jesus with. And the latter half has been full of more men than I could dream of, walking through what it looks like to follow Jesus with me. And just the fruit that comes with that, just the joy in being known by other men and walking through things on a weekly basis has radically transformed my view of Jesus and my affection for him.
That's great. I love discipleship because in the church I grew up in, community and fellowship just wasn't talked about and wasn't an emphasis. And when we started coming to fellowship, I realized how important discipleship groups really are, especially for my own personal walk with Christ. My group, we have enjoyed working together, learning more about Christ, and we're there for each other and help us grow more. I feel like the discipleship groups at fellowship are also a great root system for our church to help us spur on in our walk with Christ.
Yeah, for sure. And kind of our goal for this video today is to kind of frame, why do we do discipleship at Fellowship? Why does the church believe in it so much? Kind of how do we do discipleship? And then more specifically, how can you get involved as a leader in discipleship here at Fellowship?
Yeah, so what is discipleship and who or what is a disciple? A disciple is a follower or a student of a teacher or leader. So in plain terms, if you are a believer, you are a follower of Christ and a disciple.
Yeah, for sure. And why do we do discipleship? Well, quite plainly, because Jesus did it. So if Jesus did it, we should do it. Mm-hmm. We see in Matthew 4:19 at the beginning of the Gospels that Jesus says, "Come and follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." And really what Jesus is saying there is, hey, come and follow me. So a disciple is someone who knows and follows Jesus. Then he says, and I will make you. So a disciple is somebody who's being changed by Jesus. And then I will make you fishers of men. A disciple is someone who's committed to the mission of Jesus, of bringing the gospel to new people in their lives. And even on top of that, we see that at the beginning of Matthew, and then at the end of Matthew, in the Great Commission, we see Jesus commissioning his disciples, and he says, go out into the world and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And then I think we often end there, but the verse continues on and says, and I will be with you even until the end of the age. And I think that is undersold a lot, within the church world of you quite literally have Jesus with you. Like quite literally, you can lead a discipleship group simply because you have Jesus within you with the Holy Spirit.
Absolutely.
And I think we undersell that a lot. So you can lead a discipleship group because your qualification is that you know and follow Jesus.
Absolutely. So when we think about a discipleship group, a lot of the questions come around, well, how long are we supposed to meet for? We ask that if you can meet for a minimum of 6 months with your group, that would be most beneficial. The most growth and connections can be made that way. You and your leader it'll be up to your discretion as to how that will work and what that will look like. We also have questions about, how often or where do we meet? We like for you to try and meet weekly if possible, but if every other week works best for you, then that would be appropriate as well. Where you meet, how you meet, if it's in the grocery store, it's in your home, at the coffee shop, that is totally up to your group and your discretion.
Yeah, we quite literally have a group of men that meet in the Hy-Vee food court at 7 a.m.
Oh.
So literally anywhere you can do discipleship. Now, whenever you do discipleship, whenever you guys are in those meetings, what is that supposed to look like? So we kind of use the framework here at Fellowship of text, theology, and life, and kind of in that order. Because I don't know if you've experienced this, but I know I definitely have, that if I start with life, I will probably not get to text, and maybe I'll get to theology, but I kind of like to talk about my life. So the order that matters, that text, theology, and life. So number one, text. You have to be going through a consistent text, preferably the Bible, if not the Bible, a book that is rooted in principles in the Bible and references the Bible. And if that maybe is daunting to you, or you're unfamiliar with maybe doing that with a group of people, we have a couple of resources that we'd love to encourage you to use. So number one, we have a discipleship group starter pack, which is quite literally, it's been an internal resource we've developed over this last year, and it's kind of a plug and play. So you kind of walk through the 4 weeks, kind of word by word. It kind of tells you exactly what to think about, exactly what to pray about, what to communicate to your group, all that good stuff. And then on the men's side, we are just wrapping up a Rally Manhood series that will have both audio recordings for each session, as well as booklets that are kind of also more of a plug and play model. So text, and then theology. So obviously what makes a group of Christians different than just a group of friends hanging out is that we're talking about Jesus. We're talking about what Jesus has done in our life, what Jesus is currently doing in our life, and what we are hoping for and can hold fast to, and what Jesus is doing in our future as well. So text, theology, and then life. We want to be sharing life with people. Katie mentioned like going to the grocery store. I love that. I know my wife has personally been impacted in discipleship simply by an older woman just asking her to come to the grocery store with her. She's already going to the grocery store, so why not just bring a friend and talk about life and the Lord? So text, theology, and life, and we purposely give you freedom within that parameter, because you're going to know the people in your group best, and you're going to know kind of what each person wants to grow in and wants to learn in. And we are always here as well to help out with any resources that you guys may be looking for. So just text, theology, and life.
Right. And you touched on this as well, Drake, but things to look for and expect when you're leading a group, especially when it relates to men. Men kind of like to talk about their hobbies or sports or that sort of thing, and that can take up a lot of your time. So we want to focus on what we're there for. Women, we kind of like to gossip sometimes, or sometimes we talk about the hardships in our life, but we don't get to necessarily sin issues behind certain things. And so that we ask that, pay attention and look for those things that may be causing your group to go awry, and refocus them back to where you were.
Yeah. And we also want to encourage you guys that our men's and women's teams here at Fellowship are always available to help you with any questions you have, whether that's, content related, or even if that's just like, hey, this came up in my group this week. What do I do with that? How do I approach that? How do I have this conversation? Just men@fbclife.org or women@fbclife.org. And we would love to connect with you and be of help in any way. So we're thankful that you have tuned into this video. Discipleship isn't just something Fellowship kind of does on the side, but it is quite literally ingrained in every fabric of Fellowship. Our mission is to equip and release spiritual leaders to influence Southwest Missouri and the world for Christ. And one of the best, most clearest pictures of how to equip and release people is discipleship. So we're excited that you're here. We're excited that you're taking a step of faith to lead. And we're excited to see what the Lord will do with it.
Yeah. Thank you.